right. We are live. What's up, Ken?
Hi, Tellman. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, this is awesome. We're here for episode 155 of the Get Shit Done show.
Well, that's
And
double five.
I haven't done an interview in several weeks, and I was hoping to start doing an interview with local entrepreneurs, and then you hopped on the Get Shit Done show a couple days ago, and we were chatting back and forth. And so thanks for joining us, no less, while you're on a run. You're like straight from the Brattleboro Food Co-op parking lot right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just in between getting grocery and stuff like that.
Boom. Awesome. Dude, how do you say your last name?
It's you read it Ijichi.
Ijichi. You read
Yeah.
it Ijichi.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, Ken, you and I don't actually know each other that well.
Yeah.
Like we've had
I just
a few
remember.
interactions.
I remember you send like a request to me, and I'm like, Tellman. I don't know. That's an interesting name, right? You don't hear that name every day. So I was really like, but I saw your video and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this guy's a real person. Okay, wonderful. I love that.
You know where I met you? I don't know if you remember. Do you know where we met?
Tower, maybe.
What's that?
Have I ever met you in Brattleboro or?
No. We first met at Mendon Stitch because which Liza was hosting.
Liza
right?
was hosting that.
Down
Yeah,
the
and I came a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the first time. But guys, so Ken is the founder of Green Mountain Ramen. As far as I'm concerned, it's by far the best ramen you can possibly get in Vermont and probably all of New England. Absolutely phenomenal. Like, so I'm a super fan of your restaurant and your ramen, Ken. So thank you for everything that you've decided to create here and that you're working on. If you're willing, I would love if you'd tell the story about how you came about becoming a ramen entrepreneur. Like, how did Green Mountain Ramen come to be? And were you an entrepreneur in the past? Is this your first business? I'm very curious about your story.
Yeah, no, I was in. I mean, I most of the time I always had like a work. So I was working as an employee most of my life, and during COVID, I had a pleasure of like a collecting check for a while. So I was, just trying to figure out what I want to do, and I did some glass blowing back then, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I had a mentor and stuff like that. We're trying to make it spin, and but it didn't really pan out. Like, I mean, that's the reason it didn't pan out. So, but the thing is, that was my first taste of entrepreneurship. But but kind of fast forwarding to now, I mean, it was like, I don't know if you remember, but like, I was going through something along with many other people in Brattleboro. There was shifting energetics in the town, especially because Sam's outfitter was leaving.
Right.
And the thing is, that was a big reason to come to Brattleboro. I mean, that's why I came to Brattleboro, because they had most of the stuff you need. It's like, oh, just go to Sam, they have it, and like, okay, cool.
Right.
I was living in a van for a little bit, and I always came to Brattleboro. I'm like, that thing, I bet it's still there. I should just go and grab it. I drove 2 hours because I just knew that they will have it, I was like,
right.
Yeah, and they had good stuff. And it was wonderful. It's like they curated nice stuff for the community, which was really nice. But like, I was really feeling I need to do something, like, because like, I don't want this town to die. All my friends to just go away somewhere, because that could happen, if the traffic and no business and like, and especially after COVID, it was all kind of that too. And at the time I had, at the time I was actually trying to help somebody younger than me trying to, get a hold of themselves, with this one person. And I really felt like young people need a workplace where they can actually learn how to be, and how to be on time, and, it builds your body and mind and, good. And the thing is, like,
Totally.
this person I was mentoring was like in his late 20s, and, I was trying to help him, and I'm like, in the beginning we're like, okay, you'll work for me, whatever, we'll figure it out money wise and stuff like that. And like in the beginning we saw we can do a tea shop. Only thing about it is that we discovered okay, well, not many people are giving money for tea right now, like not in Brattleboro. And then I kept on searching, and one time I actually had a pleasure of talking to I got introduced to this friend from a friend. He introduced me to one of his acquaintance, his boss. And and he turns out he was born in Japan, and he's a chef. So he said, okay, well, how about we just talk in Japanese? And we start talking in Japanese, and it was really interesting, because I haven't spoken Japanese in such a long time, because I mean, who knows it, not many people around here.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing I'm kind of realizing is that there's part of us I'm really trying to I'm really getting familiar with this thing called soul, my soul. And soul comes out in voice and how you pronounce and how you enunciate certain things, and one thing I really noticed is that Japanese is how my soul speaks, because that wasn't my first installed OS. It really is. I learned English. I'm using English, but I'm using English. I'm not English. It's like, that's like the thing. It's like I am Japanese. This is the tongue that my ancestors spoke for a very long time, and it's in my body. Because I'm born in tradition and stuff like that. And just talking to this guy, and I was finally able to kind of be frank, 36 years old, just in Vermont, like with another guy who's like, yeah, he's in Japan, great. I mean, I know, right? They got so much cool stuff, and I was able to talk about, that, and we're talking about ramen, and he's a chef, and hey, I used to work at a ramen shop, so hey, I think one of us said, hey, maybe we should make a ramen. It's like, I know how to make ramen. It's like, you do? And I'm like, yeah, I used to work there, and we're like, okay, let's just do it. It's like, hey, isn't this great? It is. And like, we're like, how about we do something like yatai? I said to myself, because like, I was always working for somebody. I have this poverty mindset, so I'm like, I can't pay rent. Fuck that shit. That's the reason there's no fucking restaurant around here. And that's the reason I'm like, I need to fucking make a car. I'm gonna make stuff for my house and sell it outside, and I'll make a profit, It's like, but the thing is, and then I started GoFundMe for that. It's like, okay, hey,
by the way, there's a link in the description to the GoFundMe, which we're beginning to talk about right now. If you want to go and support Ken's ramen adventure, go to the GoFundMe and support him there. Again, the link is in the PS in the description. All right, go for it, Ken.
Yeah. So, please, I think there's a $200, amount of ramen bowl left if anybody want to grab it, because we just released it, which means that anyone who actually donated, every $25 you donate, you get a free ramen bowl.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. So, they're going to come now, because I just said, okay, you guys can pick up your ramen now, because some people were like, can I get the ramen now, the free ramen? And initially I was like really stuck on the idea of yatai. No, it was fundraiser for that. Only thing about it is that now we're like, okay, we got this restaurant thing. We need to really make this thing work. And, honestly, it is, the thing is like, there's so much about yatai business that's not really about the food, because it's about the transport and the cleanup, setup, which is like, okay, you are setting up for a party every day. And that's like, and the thing is like, me and my partner Jane was really feeling in our body, it's like people in Japan does it, but at the same time, like, they don't live in a really mountainous area like us, we can't pull this thing in the flatland, certain part of Japan. You can definitely, you can haul stuff. It's pretty easy, you can like electrify it and stuff like that. But, we don't have the equipment for that, but we have something better now, because I can put all my effort, all my energy into cooking food and serving food, and very minimal, transport. I don't have to worry about transferring food from one location to another.
But
because like people just want to do ramen.
You did something really cool that I feel that most people don't have the gumption to do is that you started with exclusively pop-ups. So you would set up your setup at someone else's business, and you found a wide variety of places that you could do this in different situations in order to sell ramen before you had your restaurant. And how many of those different like pop-up locations did you do?
Yeah, I should probably have the right
Like
number,
roughly.
but I don't. Yeah, yeah. We were trying to do it every week, but that was kind of tough. Eventually, we kind of ran out of, so like maybe we did like
Yeah.
10. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I should apply to maybe went to farmers market, and I did, and that took a little bit,
Right.
and they're like, okay, we can. Okay, great. Like sometimes we have to like you have to go through the process to get in somewhere, and and like
Right.
which was great. Farmers market taught us so much, and it made me feel okay for saying certain like dietary practice. Eat organic, eat local. Yes, it is. It does matter. Yes,
Right.
it is healthy. Yes. I mean, if we're not eating right, hormonal stuff can mess up. And the thing is, if we are
Right.
not feeding our
Completely.
kids correct food, then future American who's going to make our future decision for us, they don't have the right
That's right.
chemistry, and they're actually misled by the different type of different entities out there, with different interests, because money's a thing, and it's different thing like in effect, and that's not like not everybody has the best interest for the local people here in Brattleboro. And I really felt
It's
like
true.
this farmers market was one of those places that's like they were the guardian. They're like, hey, you better not sell those process shit over here, kind of, it's like like
Right.
we had like like a package, right, like that you can just buy, I'm not gonna name brand name, but like this easy snack I can just, hey, somebody in Japan made this, hey, want to buy this, they're like, no, you can't do that. Anything you made, you can sell here. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
well, no, this place is serious. And these are the gestures I got from the community elder, because I mean, I don't have a grandparents here, but the thing is, elder just makes everything, because everything is made before us, and they are the one came before me to here. So that's the reason they have these events, and because they have certain culture and they value certain things. I mean, I was living in middle of nowhere in New York, in Western New York, and I didn't have organic food access. There was no co-op in my area. Maybe
Right.
if I'm lucky, I can get something organic from like an oldie, but it's very limited,
Right.
and and I was working a hospital system, and we were serving Pepsi to people as if it's like, and I'm like, hey, why would we do this? And one of the answer I got was, it's, yeah, we're trying to make money,
Right. Right. Well, so
wow, but it is what it is, and I had to really kind of wake up from that, it's like, because for a while, when you actually get this kind of, you kind of like, hypnotize yourself, saying, I'm okay, I'm
that's
doing
right.
good, because I'm a registered nurse, I'm working in the system, and I'm helping people. And then like, there's a lot of question I did, and I got an answer from real doctors, and I'm like, oh man, no, no. And I guess when you actually hold untruths as a truth in your occupation, you try to live a second life outside of that.
Right.
And what I'm doing, and I don't feel good about myself, because the highest truth I know disagrees with what I'm doing. And a lot of things just, emotionally didn't make sense, because I kept on messing with my emotion for my occupation, because I wanted to survive, because I wanted to eat better food, because as a registered nurse, you can make more money.
Right.
It is what it is, and I was just following the
Right.
programming, and I got sick, and I got diagnosed with like, this manic depressive, stuff, and they offered me medication, but I just knew that's not gonna help me, because I seen people in the
Right.
ward, I was told I can't even acknowledge their feeling and their reality. And the thing, if other people can do that for you, who really cares about you, no,
Right.
that's gonna distort reality for people, that because it is what it is. It's like, hey, I don't have to be a fucking doctor to fucking know that. You'll figure it out, because eventually we'll figure out what it is, what is reality. How it's created, and however you know, and there's these things, and like I discover a lot of things is not taught in nursing school, and that's okay because that's where you start.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't choose
So
where we start.
so we can't choose where we start. We can't really choose where we finish, but we can choose which direction we're pointing in, right? We can at least choose which direction we're trying to head toward. So speaking of which, so how long ago did you do your first Green Mountain Ramen pop up? Like when did that start?
So that was maybe in July or June, something like that last year. So almost a year ago.
Only a
Yeah.
year. Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. And so becoming an entrepreneur and ultimately starting a restaurant, has it been easier or harder than you expected?
It's definitely more harder, because everything becomes revealed to me as you do it. And the thing is, like,
Yeah.
I don't have any
Yeah.
expectation. I'm like, I'm just gonna do this, see what happens. Sounds okay, looks good on paper. Let's do it. And I learned a lot every single time. I learned so much that I'm like, I need to do that. Okay, I gotta do that now. Next time I'll do that. And just
All right.
keep
So
on
I
doing
love
that.
I love this because I love it because you have no experience as an entrepreneur. Your business is only a year old. You did 10 or 20 pop-ups, then you managed to get a restaurant going. You did a GoFundMe in the process. You changed course as you were raising money, and you're still moving forward. And so I guess for entrepreneurs or people who are out there who want to start a business but hesitate on moving forward, what do you have for, as a fresh entrepreneur, what do you have for advice for people on how to go from idea to reality of actually moving forward and starting a business? I mean, you're not doing an internet business, you're doing a real bricks and mortar business. You're making amazing bowls of ramen for people, and you're making it move forward in an incredible way. So yeah, what are your words of wisdom to people who want to become entrepreneurs but haven't quite taken the step? Oop, you're frozen. Can you hear me, Ken? I can't hear you. Oh, are you there? Oh, I can see you. Try, did you hear me?
Can
Oh,
you hear me? Hello?
you're very you're
Hello?
I think you might be getting better now.
Hello?
Try saying something. Doing all right?
Getting better? Can you hear me?
All right. I can hear you
Hello?
a bit.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
your
Hello?
signal.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Huh. Hello? Can,
Yes,
can you hear me? You can hear me now.
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, okay. Okay, so I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
The short version is, what do you have in terms of words of wisdom for someone who wants to become an entrepreneur but hasn't been able to really take the first step, or is hesitating or holding themselves back for some reason, having just done it in the last year? What are your words of advice?
Okay. So there's this concept in it's called forms. And another thing I've been discovering, about reality is that our biography that we write for ourselves by taking action every single moment, every single day, every single month, every single year, these decision makes filter for how we perceive reality. And this means that we need to change our biography in order to actually become what you want to become. And the thing is, so in my case, I'm like, I want to be a ramen master. How do I do it? I need to start making ramen. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I had to start making it. Why? Because in order to
That's right.
master something, you need to do 10,000 hours. What scientists is finding out. In order to master a task or dish, 10,000 hours, how much you need to spend. So
That's
I
right.
just start doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it because according to science,
I love,
that's
dude.
what you need to do.
I love that.
Which
I
means,
love that.
yeah, exactly. Which means I just need to start doing it. So I did it at a private party for a few people because I knew how to cook at a small scale. It's fine. So any kind of project, start small, experiment, because universe is your teacher, because universe will give you the feedback you need, and you might think that you might not learn anything, but no, your biography changed. So when you go to sleep, go back to wherever you think you are when you're there, then you come back, reload. What happens? You're different. And then
That's
you
right.
perceive reality and you receive different messages because you are different. You are not what you were before. What you did yesterday. Maybe you made that promotion thing that you always wanted to make at a very small scale, even if it's like a sketch on a receipt paper. Do it, because
right.
it's going to change your biography. Because they say, yeah, that circle look nice. Maybe but you would have never get to that thought until you do it, because there's a thought that actually leads from the actions you take. And
right.
So that's something I've been really saying to myself. It's a process, form and forms, 10,000 an hour. Just keep going. Because thing is, like, no matter what happens, if I keep on making...
Wait, would you repeat the principle you learned from anthroposophic medicine? What is it called?
It's called form and forms.
Form in forms.
Form and forms. There's a power
I
in
haven't
form.
heard of that before.
Yes, anthroposophical medicine, which is something I discovered, in the process of healing. I was able to go to this place called Inner Fire. They fed me organic food for 1 year, and we did these anthroposophically inspired, different type of therapy, eurythmy, spatial dynamic, art therapy, different type of music therapy. And just woods wandering, learning how to basket weed, learning how to knit, and learning how to show gratitude. What are you grateful for today? And I can say it now. How do you appreciate anybody? I'm like, okay, every week we have to appreciate about in the room. So it was a training of our subconscious mind, and I was able to do that. And before that, I was like starting to realize that my thoughts and emotion makes my reality. And I got into stuff like, I got introduced to like secrets and stuff like that, and all this kind of other vibrational stuff and different channeling thing, and I was, before that I was kind of told, like in nursing school, we just told that no, those things aren't real. Nope, no, none of those are real.
Right.
And, okay, I'm like, okay. That's what I had to do, to pass the exam, because like if my reality is different from what the examiner is, I'll fail. I didn't want to fail, that's just the reality of it. I wanted to survive, and I don't want to, different option. This was the best option because I wanted to heal. I wanted to learn about medicine because I saw medicine was interesting, healing people. But the thing is, I learned that you can't even say healing now, cure. It's like, what the hell? No treatment. It's like, oh, come on, bro. What the hell are you doing? Language is the language. And we try to no, treatment is like, that's not cool, man. You can't just keep on treating people, not cure them, so they can go on with their life and make this world a better place. It's like what kind of attitude is that as a medicine? And like, and I don't know, I just keep on going.
Well, so Ken, I don't know if you want to get into it here or not, but you said you had some questions about hypnosis. And so if you have any questions you wanted to talk about on the episode, we totally could. Or if you wanted to connect about those privately, we could do that too. What was your vibe?
Well, maybe I can do both. So there's like a private thing that I think everybody can privately say, what's hypnosis? So the thing is like, okay, I'm not a hypnotist, but I've been studying reality my own way. So this is my shot. And I want you to tell me, how close am I? Am I super off? What's happening? Kind of thing. Okay. So,
so you're gonna explain hypnosis as you understand it right now. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I just want to take a shot at it.
Yeah, give it a shot. Tell me what you got.
I want you to kind of tell me in percentage wise, like, I'm 80%, I'm 50%, I'm 30%. I'm like, I want to see how off am I. Okay. So my thing about hypnotizing is that, so in Japan, there's just the concept of kotodama. Kotodama is like, there is every single word you utter has a soul attached to it.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I like that idea. Like it's very powerful. This is something I kind of learned in speech therapy too, is that certain words are supposed to be said in a specific way, to have certain effect, and each time, and but thinking that's really engaging your different faculty in order to actually announcing and really pay attention to the like intention of the sentence, and
Sure.
the mood and everything like that, and that can be a very powerful thing, in like in a right time.
Right.
And so, and also I've been studying this thing called affirmation, so like essentially building a subconscious mind, and in a certain way that we want to, right? And like saying this word over and over again, that's essentially what chanting is. And I was a Bon Buddhist, so we chant certain phrase all the time. I did it so many times, and so when you actually start doing that, you go to a different place and stuff like that, because you can just automate whatever you're doing. You can just automate saying that, and then it just goes into like a different meditation. And
Hold on. You said you were going to explain your understanding of hypnosis.
yeah. So my okay. So thank you for pulling me back.
Really back in.
Yeah, pulling me back into the question. Yeah. So with the hypnosis, so there's this aspect that you can kind of like Inception, I guess, kind of like you can try to position something in other people's reality. Then you can, I think that's hypnosis in a way. Like I feel like like say propaganda work as a hypnosis, for example. I feel like that has like you put people in a certain state and a certain message in the right time, and then when a trigger comes, boom, like say for example COVID, boom, that's like a huge trigger for somebody, and like their automatic programming goes, and their cognitive thinking just goes away, and they just follow whatever is fear program. I should do this, and I kind of feel like that. I feel like I was hypnotized by COVID, and I felt like I am being hypnotized, and I guess so I feel like that's an aspect of hypnosis, and I feel like we can use hypnosis to ourselves and each other to hypnotize ourselves to the best version of the universe that we can go to. And I don't know if that's even a possibility. And I don't know, like, am I off? Am I hitting some
Yeah.
points?
So check it out. Well, so I'll explain it as I understand it. This is
Okay,
my
that's great.
opinion,
Thank you.
right? I would say this is my opinion. This is my current best understanding, right?
Yeah, and that's the best
So
one. Thank
I
you.
think I think you're hitting on good points, and maybe you're misinterpreting some aspects of the way you're looking at things. So
Okay.
just check this out as an alternative view.
Okay.
So hypnosis is a very specific set of steps that you go through to get into what's called the hypnagogic state. And it's the state between being awake and being asleep. It's almost the same as deep meditation. It's almost the same as deep prayer. And it's very similar to the flow state experienced by peak performance athletes and artists and musicians, where time kind of fades away and you're just hyper present, right? But hypnosis specifically is a set of steps that you go through to move into that state and hold yourself there. And when you're in that state, your conscious mind is less active and your unconscious or your subconscious mind is more in the forefront. And when you're in that state, you can learn very, very quickly. It's like moving back into a childhood state where you're able to learn very quickly because we don't have all the conscious filters saying, oh, I'm not good at math. Oh, I can't read. Oh, I'm not good at art. Because we've had those experiences, and then we have these beliefs that we're not good at this and we're not good at that. So naturally, we can't learn this and we can't learn that because we're not good at those things, right? But if we take away the conscious mind, or at least we reduce its intensity, we can learn very quickly. And so hypnosis is a lot like the dream state that you're in when you're dreaming, except when you're dreaming, your conscious mind is completely asleep and your unconscious or subconscious mind is awake. When you're in hypnosis, your physical body is more awake and your conscious mind is more active, but the dream state, you have much more access to be able to experience and see and observe and bring back memories from that dream state back into your physical reality. So hypnosis, or a guided hypnosis session, is kind of like a guided dream. And when you have that experience of the guided dream, you bring the memory of the dream back, just like you would bring the memory of learning a skill back, like how to make really good ramen, or how to like do a 3-point shot, or how to ski, or how to speak Japanese, whatever it is. Like these are all skills that we can learn. So hypnosis is really a tool for accelerated learning of a specific skill, habit, or a way of thinking, acting, behaving, responding. It gives you more than the one option that you might be stuck in, which is creating the reason you want to be hypnotized in the first place, whether you want to get hypnotized for weight loss, stop eating so much, start exercising more, start drinking more water, or whether you want to be hypnotized to reduce your stress. So all of a sudden, when stressful things happen that used to set you off, you now take 10 slow, deep breaths and you're super calm, right? Or insomnia, or, things like this. So generally with hypnosis, you're getting hypnotized to either create a new habit or a new skill, or to enhance a habit or skill. And that's kind of the only way to break a bad habit, is by creating a better one, right? So hypnosis is kind of a portal to the subconscious mind, which I believe is really running everything that is your reality. And your conscious mind thinks it's in control. Ken thinks he's in control. Tellman thinks he's in control, but no. What's in control is our subconscious, that's putting up the boundaries and the parameters of how we think about the world, how we think about ourselves in the world, and how the world works, our belief about how things are and how things aren't, is all the subconscious.
Yeah.
And so we use hypnosis to move into that state where we can become more aware of the subconscious, and then bring the conscious mind and the subconscious mind into alignment, so we can move forward without resistance, without sabotage, without holding ourselves back. So, with full clarity. So your conscious and subconscious mind are on the same page and moving toward the same outcome or goal or way of operating. Does that make sense? I was a little long-winded, but
no, it's wonderful that you made a connection with being in the zone, because like I actually, in my conscious mind, I actually was like, when I was doing research, I actually kept the zone research that and hypnosis research as a separate thing.
oh yeah, I got into hypnosis. I'm a
Because
lifelong
I've been
long
doing
distance
research on the
runner.
zone too, but hypnosis I didn't know. I'm like, I didn't know. Oh wow, it's
Yeah, I one of the main reasons that I started studying hypnosis was to help me with my long distance running and moving into flow state while I was running. But because I'm a lifelong pretty competitive distance runner. So
gotcha.
yeah, that was one of my early interests.
Wow. Okay, so you got in from running in hypnosis. Wow.
That's a big reason. There were a few other reasons, but that was a big one. Yeah.
Wow. And just curious, I'm just like, would
Please.
you ever be open for teaching me hypnosis and how that progression would work and how Green Mountain Ramen would evolve? Because if you can actually help me learn with the limited time that I have, and if I can really see the difference, I think we can actually record this. And I feel like, that's all we can do, which is to be the best version of ourselves, and people can only figure out, why did that person do that, how did this person do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way to tell the truth. Truth can only be displayed, it cannot be really taught. Because like concept is a concept until it's a reality. Somebody had to embody it.
Right.
And
Right.
and
Yeah,
I'm
man.
still in the middle of embodiment, so I really would appreciate any kind of help. And also,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice that we can just take videos now, so
I
easy.
know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a chat about that and see what makes sense. I mean, I'm glad that you're interested, and I'm sure we can find a way to do something cool.
Yeah, I mean, because like somebody who actually knows this skill set would have been in a very, very different place in society back in the days. Like, if we were
Yeah.
like, caveman or something. Like, if you know how to do that, oh, bro, you're like, you're fine. You're like, you were like one of those people. It's like, I'm like, oh, that guy talked to me. It's like, no way, that guy talked to me. It's like, oh
Well,
my god.
dude, well, one thing that I can say is that you and anyone that's watching can go to getshitdone.com and join our free community, and I give you a free recorded hypnosis session, which is called the Get Shit Done session, that'll hypnotize you to get shit done. So if you just want to check, I've been selling it for over 10 years, but you get it for free if you join at getshitdone.com. So if you want to experience hypnosis like tonight, then totally do that, right? But I'd be happy to continue the conversation and see what makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Let's continue talking. I love talking to you, and thank you so much for inviting me today.
Yeah, man. Congratulations and job well done on getting your business launched and just moving forward and shifting and changing gears as the business changes and as as reality slaps you in the face and you have to figure out what to do next. You're doing a great job. You're doing a really great job, and I love your ramen. So keep going full force.
Thank you, Tellman.
Nice, dude. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, we can talk on the phone and connect and see what's next. Guys, go to greenmountainramen.com. If you're in Brattleboro, go visit Ken up at the old Shriners building, the Heart Rose Club. What's the address?
Oh, it's 11 Green Street, Brattleboro, Vermont.
Boom, 11 Green Street. And when do you guys open?
Thursday we're open from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. and starting this week we're open Friday and Saturday lunch and dinner from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. And
boom.
Yeah, please come by. We're gonna be like, okay, let's see if we can do this and figure out what it takes to do that. Because I don't know until I do it. So
That's
people
right.
are you sure? Right. I'm like, I don't know. We just do it. That's the only way to find out. Like, I'm not really a number person, I'm like, because I don't know how many people gonna show up. Last week, we were like, didn't get much, but people didn't know. So now people know about it. So we're like, okay, if you couldn't make it because we were only on Thursday, Friday, now we have Saturday now. That's the weekend. Boom. So please come by.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice, dude. That rocks. That rocks. Cool. Well, I think I'll probably stop by during gallery walk on Friday.
Oh, wonderful. That's perfect. We're talking with different, this taiko drum group is coming to kind of check out our plays. We're trying to see if we can get them in here and stuff like that. Taiko drum group from Burlington is coming. Their representative is coming to check out the thing and how what can we do with the space,
That's right.
It's great.
Cool. Rock and roll. All right. Well, congratulations. This has been awesome. Thanks for jumping on as a guest, Ken. And I look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you so much, Tellman. You have a good day.
All right, you too. Arden, by the way, if you're still watching, thanks for tuning in and commenting. Let's GSD. Good to see you again, my friend. And everybody else, thanks for tuning in to the Get Shit Done show. We'll see you tomorrow for episode 156. All right, this is Tellman. Over and out.